drinking what godsip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit, speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun. G5 in the US to Taiwan. Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama knew I was a needle in a haystack. I'm a body boy, plus way back. I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. I hope you're awake now this morning.
I'm awake. Barely.
Barely.
I still haven't figured out how to change that new clock, and so I wake up and I think it's like earlier than it is.
Wait, what? No. Yeah. No. If your alarm clock, if you set it for, 4 a.m.
Yes.
or 4:30 a.m., it's actually now going off at 5:30 a.m.
Yes, I
It's
know.
probably going off right now.
But no, I turned it off before we left the house. But it says an hour earlier.
Oh.
So I look at it and I'm like, what?
Yes, and you're all discombobulated.
Why am I getting up at
You need to figure out how to
3:30?
switch your clock, Tobe.
I know. Technology.
So there's some really tragic news coming from Texas. They've had 3 packages explode this month in Austin, and it's left 2 dead and 2 wounded. Authorities are warning Austin residents to be wary of suspicious packages left outside their home after 3 explosions in the past 2 weeks left 2 people dead and 2 others injured. On Monday morning, a 17-year-old boy was killed and a woman in her 40s injured after the teen brought a package into the home. Yeah, you think a package on your doorstep, you're like, ooh, what did mom buy?
Yep.
And this is according to the Austin American-Statesman. Later the same morning, another 75-year-old woman was injured by a package bomb. On March 2nd, a 39-year-old Anthony Stephen House was killed when a suspicious package exploded at his home. Authorities are now investigating whether the incidents might be related. In at least the first 2 incidents, the packages were not sent through the U.S. Postal Service, UPS, or FedEx, indicating someone left them on doorsteps. Both of the fatal incidents occurred at the same time, at 6:44 a.m. and 6:55 a.m., indicating the packages were left overnight. Both are being investigated as homicides. The victim in both of those incidents were African American, and the 75-year-old woman is Hispanic. Authorities say they are not ruling out the possibility that these are hate crimes. The women in Monday's incidents are both said to have suffered potentially life-threatening injuries. Austin residents are instructed to call 911 if they see an unexpected package outside their home.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
It is terrifying. And, in my mind, and this is going to sound really bizarre, but having watched all of these CSI profiler type shows, my brain, I'm trying to figure out, what's the profile? Who's the guy that does this kind of garbage?
Because Ted Kaczynski's in jail.
Yeah, exactly. And bombing is a very skill-specific type of crime. And it's one thing to have that skill set. It's another thing entirely to say, I'm going to use that skill set to now go out and blow up people, right?
Yeah. So you're probably, I think the first thing that would come into my head is that it's former military, the person who's doing it. Because where else do you get that training?
Exactly. Well, and you can get some of the training on the internet, and we've seen people do that. And
Kaczynski wasn't former military.
No.
Oh, wait, yes, he was.
Was he?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was, I think. I'm going to look that up.
Anyway, so I'm just kind of trying to figure out who this is, and the fact that the first 2 victims were African American, it does immediately lend itself to this idea of a racial hate crime or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you think about bombings, is there a specific target that they're going to get to, right? Is this leading up, and they're just trying to put them in with a bunch of random folks, or is it all random? And this is just some wackadoo who's trying to get attention. Bombings are a very unusual type of killing because it can be very indiscriminate because you're never sure who's going to pick up the package, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously it was a kid who picked it up.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying anyway. It's terrifying anyway. This is, if there's ever a time to have cameras on your doorstep somewhere on your door,
Yeah.
Now is the time because we have to catch this person before anybody else is maimed or injured.
Yeah.
Because even if it doesn't kill you, it's going to blow your hands off. It's going to, burn your face. It's going to, something like that. You know,
so this is the interesting thing. You know, I don't know about the neighborhoods where these bombs were left, but maybe someone in those neighborhoods had one of those porch cameras, and they might see a car coming or going, and that might lead to a clue, right? I mean,
I hope they did.
I hope they did too. I mean, I really, because this is the kind of person you want to get off the street as quick as possible, right? Because people begin to really live in fear, and I think that's what these people get off on, right? Is the terror. They're terrorizing people.
They really, really are. So I'm sure that I hope that they find this person. And also then, you know, if Texas is a big state, right? And so, you know, you think about the metropolitan areas. There's hill country around Austin, but it's not far from Houston. It's not far from San Antonio. It's not far from Dallas. I mean, it's Texas not far, not everywhere else not far.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't take that long for him to go to another it's usually a guy, major metropolitan area and do the same thing if the heat is too hot in Austin.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating but sad story, scary story.
Very scary story. So there's a breaking news that you talked about before I went on the air about our Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson.
Yeah, you know, President Trump tweeted Tuesday that he's replacing Rex Tillerson as the Secretary of State, and he's going to install CIA Director Mike Pompeo in his place. And so the tweet read, Mike Pompeo, Director of CIA, will become our new Secretary of State. He will do a fantastic job, Trump tweeted Tuesday. Thank you to Rex Tillerson for his service. Gina Haspel will become the new Director of CIA, the first woman so chosen. Congratulations to all. And so, you know, this is one of those things where Rex Tillerson has been sort of on the chopping block for months and months and months. Denial. And it was pretty clear that he was going to last through the first year. He wanted to say he had a year as that, and that was the deal they made, and now he's out. And
but the State Department, from what I understand, has not been a happy place to work since the Obama administration.
Yeah, and I think that Trump told Tillerson to go in there and dismantle the State Department, that they saw the State Department being Hillary's stomping ground, as she was the former Secretary of State, that she had installed all of her people, that they had switched out all of the sort of the policy people with very liberal thinking people, and his job was to go in and clean house, and he did it. And of course it's ugly, and it takes away from the importance of what state is doing, you know, and so he did it, but he's going to take all the brunt of it, you know. But he wouldn't have done that if Trump hadn't told him to do it.
But here's the thing, too. So the State Department is all about diplomacy, right? I mean, it's about working with nations and to further the American aims or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're putting your chief spy as the head of the State Department. What does that do for the other countries looking at the United States and their ability to work with us?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. And maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe they're now just going to replace and fill the State Department with all their spies. And they actually work very close together anyway.
They do, but
you're right. It sends a very different
It's a very
message.
public message.
Yes, it is.
And were I Russia, were I Vladimir Putin, were I, any one of our any of the unfriendly states, and forgive me, I'm fighting a terrible cold today, people, so I'm a little slow, so I apologize. But if I were any one of those states that weren't necessarily friendly to the United States, how would I take that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So with that, it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we will be right back.
Abilities. You're a hardworking student. You've grown up here. You're striving and working towards the American dream. You're a dreamer and maybe you need to renew your DACA deferral. Now is the time to take action. On January 9th, the district court ordered a halt to President Trump's efforts to terminate the deferred action for childhood arrivals, or DACA. And now the Department of Homeland Security is now accepting DACA renewal applications. Now you can get free DACA renewal assistance from the TODEC Legal Center. The TODEC Center may also provide you with payment assistance with up to $495 in immigration fees to renew. Stay here, stay home, stay with your family. You're valued, loved, wanted, and needed. Get free legal screening and consultation, application assistance, and legal representation. For more info, search todec.org. That's TODEC.org. Or call for upcoming workshops at 951-943-1955. That's 951-943-1955 for the TODEC Legal Center. And dream on.
I'm so tired of the buffering on my smartphone.
I'm so over it. Next.
Right? I am so over it. Next.
A radio? Next.
No buffering, just your favorite local radio station?
Next Radio uses the FM tuner that is already built into your phone, so you can listen to your favorite stations on the go. Because Next Radio uses the FM tuner already built into your smartphone, it saves on data and battery usage. When compared to streaming audio, Next Radio uses less than a tenth of your data, and your battery will last 3 times longer. Next Radio, it's FM radio on your smartphone.
Introducing a radio inside your cell phone. Listen to all kinds of local radio stations, including KCAA 106.5 Yucaipa and 102.3 Riverside on Next Radio. Download the free Next Radio app today. 100% free, 100% fun, 0% buffering. Stop the buffer and listen to KCAA.
For several days, you've been craving a juicy, tender steak. So it's time to satisfy that craving at Tony's Spunky Steer Restaurant. Tony's is located in the Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands. At Tony's, you'll have top-notch service and feast on some of the best-tasting prime sizzler steaks in the Inland Empire. The Tri-City Center is located just off I-10 between Alabama and the Tennessee exits in Redlands. Make Tony's Spunky Steer your dining destination for that special occasion, or if you just want a great steak.
Claremont McKenna College invites Inland Empire business and political leaders to Inland Empire Vision, a conference on Tuesday, March 27th. Claremont economists will present their Inland Empire economic forecast and a new index of regional consumer sentiment. The program also features a panel discussion on the $15 minimum wage with Tom Manzo of Timely Pre-Finished Steel Door Frames and Bill Phelps from Wetzel's Pretzels. Greg Devereaux, recently retired CEO of San Bernardino County, will be the keynote speaker. For more information or to register for the conference, please go to inlandempirevision.org.
The Inland Empire's radio home for the Dave Ramsey Show.
If you want to mess around with the Bitcoin thing and you're in that world a little bit, that's fine. But don't put your freaking life savings in it, doofus.
KCAAradio.com.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker. Did you turn your mic off? Try it again. Try it again. No, your mic, it went out. He is Tobin Brinker.
Hello, I'm Tobin
now
Brinker.
I hear you. That's good. That's bizarre. How does that happen? I have no idea. So we are so excited to have with us Dr. Perry Wiseman. He is with the San Bernardino City Unified School District. He is their Director of Human Resources. And there's a teacher affair coming up, a teacher recruitment fair. And, you know, there's not a lot of turnover in the city's San Bernardino City Unified School District. And so when they are hiring teachers, you want to jump in there. So Dr. Wiseman, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate it.
So tell us about your upcoming event.
So this Saturday at Indian Springs High School, and that's going to be 650 North Del Rosa Drive from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to have our third annual teacher fair. We're signing contracts on the spot, especially those hard-to-fill positions, your math, science, special ed, as well as our bilingual positions and speech and language pathologists. So come on down and join us to help out, or if you're looking for a teaching position, we'd love to have you.
Now, are you hiring instructional aides in other positions as well?
We actually, the last couple years, we had our classified hiring fair alongside the teacher recruitment fair. And this year we're going to hold two separate types of fairs. One will be for our certificated, our teachers, which is this coming Saturday, and we're still working out the details for our classified workforce and a fair for that.
So what levels are you hiring for? Elementary, secondary, everything in between?
Everything in between. We have approximately 2,800 teachers. And Aaron, you did mention our attrition rate is pretty low. We're about 5%, which is lower than most districts as well as the state average. And but with that large of a workforce, we're always looking for teachers Many of our teachers in San Bernardino, as well as across the state, are in retirement age and retiring, and so we're always looking to hire.
So the teacher shortage is real.
Absolutely.
So are there a lot of new teachers coming out of the pipeline, or are you basically looking to snatch teachers away from other districts?
Well, actually a little bit of both. We recruit at the various local universities, those coming out of their credential programs, so we're always present there and just introducing ourselves and letting them know why San Bernardino is a great place to work. And we let them know you have options, and but we just treat them with white gloves and let them know they're appreciated no matter where they go.
Okay.
And also we have our substitute teachers. We have approximately 900 to 1,000 substitute teachers in the system. Obviously, they work in our district as well as some other local school districts. But one of the things is we've created a system to where we have resident guest educators or substitute teachers, and they're actually committed to over 170 days a year. More often than not, they're assigned to one school, and they're there just to assist on a day-to-day basis. And we're finding that many of those candidates are becoming our teachers, so that's part of the pipeline.
That's great.
That is fantastic.
So I remember back when I first started teaching, and I've been in the profession for 23 years now, that there was a shortage, and some districts were even going out of state to do recruiting. And I remember people from Texas and from Ohio moving to California to become teachers because they had a glut of teachers back there, and we were in high demand here. Is something similar happening, or are we seeing people moving around the country to fill these teaching positions?
You know what? We've done some work. We actually contracted with a company, and they were recruiting some African American candidates across the country, and we didn't get necessarily the candidates that we were looking for. One of the things that we are doing, we're recruiting at some local conferences. Actually, tomorrow we have there's a California African American Superintendent and Administrator conference. We're going to be up there doing some recruitment for principals and teachers and so forth. But one of the things that we're looking to do is to make sure that our workforce reflects our community.
Yeah.
And when we're going out of state and recruiting, we're not seeing too many candidates that are willing to come out to California and uproot and leave family and school and so forth. So we've created this Grow Our Own.
Yes.
And what we're looking to do is to get our students in teaching pathways in our schools. We do have one pathway that's at Arroyo Valley High School, and we're looking to expand that. As soon as they graduate, they go to college, come back, work as an avid tutor, student intern, and then possibly a walk-on coach and help out with our sports programs. And then they could become a classified employee. We have negotiated with our classified union that anyone who's a full-time classified employee will actually reimburse their tuition if they want to become a teacher.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good
and then
deal.
we also, with the resident subs, the guest educators, we've also negotiated that if they graduated from our schools and they're resident guest educators, then they can actually get their tuition reimbursed as well, working towards their credential program. So the bottom line is what we're seeing that if we go out of state and recruit, we're not necessarily getting what we're looking for, but when we hire our own, obviously the workforce is over time going to reflect our community because we're hiring our community. And we're seeing that they're much more committed when they're from San Bernardino. So we're really excited about the work there.
Well, that's outstanding. I have to think that if you grow up in a community and you know it, you know the people, you're going to be much more attached to their children. I mean, so you're going to be much more mindful, this kid is from my neighborhood, or this kid is from up the street, or, so that it has more meaning.
Absolutely.
Well, I had the great honor and pleasure when I started my teaching career of teaching at my alma mater in Colton. And I tell you, you feel a real connection when you go back and teach at the schools that you went to, and it just really warms your heart. Now, I couldn't help but notice in my notes here that your Grow Your Own program actually won the CSBA Golden Bell Award. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're really excited. Kudos to the leadership in our district, our Board of Education, just extremely supportive with our programs. Our superintendent, Dr. Marsden's just doing great work as well. So we're really excited to be on the team.
So you get your teachers hired. Now you've got them in this new induction program. Can you tell our listeners about that? What's it like when you become a new teacher in San Bernardino?
Yeah, we actually, there was a time several years ago when we would hire, I'm talk about a principal, then I'll work towards the teachers. We would hire a principal and throw them in. We have 74 schools, and there was some that got lost in the shuffle. It's a big system. So in response, we got one resignation, and we're like, you know what? We didn't do the job we could have to support, engage, and connect this principal right from the start. So we put some systems in place to where there's very comprehensive induction, onboarding, to where they're meeting key stakeholders through the district. They're shadowing highly effective principals. They're meeting one-on-one with every staff member, asking what are some opportunities, challenges. If you were me, what would you focus on, so on and so forth. So what we built this robust onboarding, and then now we've been moving a similar type of program down into our teaching ranks as well as our classified workforce. So right now, the teachers, they have multiple days. It's kind of conference style. In the beginning of the year, if they're hired mid-year, we're going to take them through some very deliberate activities. They're visiting some highly effective teachers. We have some of our key people, our teacher induction program, our Common Core demonstration teachers in front of them, and just really talking them through San Bernardino, the community, the key initiatives, as well as the effective strategies so they're successful in the classroom.
Wow. So they really are getting a lot of support right in the beginning.
We're doing the best we can. That's so important.
So we're about out of time. Let everybody know again when the hiring fair is, where it is, and what time it starts.
Absolutely. So this Saturday, March 17th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., come on down to Indian Springs High School. That's at 650 North Del Rosa Drive in San Bernardino, California. And we're looking to hire teachers. We have some openings, math, science, some multiple subjects, special education, as well as bilingual and speech and language pathologists. Also, I didn't mention this, we're looking to hire substitute teachers right on the spot. So if you have your CBEST and a college degree, or if you have your degree and you're looking to move towards that, we can provide some info on CBEST. Come on down, and we're looking to hire, and we appreciate your guys' time.
So where can people get more information if they want to talk to you before coming down?
They can call Human Resources, 909-381-1100.
Can you give that number one more time?
909-381-1100.
Well, Dr. Perry Wiseman, thank you so much for all the work that you do in the community and for joining us this morning. I'm sure it's going to be a great event on Saturday.
Appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing everyone down there.
Thank you. So it's
Thank you so much.
time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. Republican leaders of the House Intelligence Committee say the panels found no evidence of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign, so they're ending the committee's investigation. Texas Congressman Mike Conaway saying there might have been some bad judgments or inappropriate meetings, but no evidence of collusion. Democrats say the GOP leadership hasn't pushed to obtain key documents and testimony. The third major winter storm in 2 weeks has parts of the Northeast and New England in its crosshairs, and people are worn out.
There were people that just got their power back yesterday.
Boston expected to get at least a foot of snow, some areas even more. Airlines have already canceled more than 1,000 flights today. Donald Trump visits California for the first time as president today. Trump will speak to troops in San Diego, and he's expected to view some prototypes for a border wall. A wall on the U.S.-Mexico border has been one of Trump's top priorities since he started running for president. Lisa Carter, NBC News Radio.
It's time for traffic on KCAA. I'm Erin Brinker. In Corona on the 91 eastbound before Green River Road, there's an accident. An accident there has been cleared. There's some slow traffic backed up from Coal Canyon Road. The 91 west is heavy from the 15 to Green River. The 71 south is slow between Euclid and the 91. In the Cajon Pass on the 15 southbound before Kenwood Avenue, a wreck is now along the right shoulder. In Glen Helen on the 15 southbound at Glen Helen Parkway, an accident there has been cleared. This has been your traffic on KCAA. We are the stations that leave no listener behind. I'm Erin Brinker.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Rod Tanner. For this morning, we'll have patchy fog well into the day. There's a chance of rain this afternoon. Humidity partly sunny with a high of 73. Rain is likely tonight. Humidity mostly howdy out of 52 with winds over 20 miles an hour. There's a chance of rain Wednesday. We'll have a mostly howdy day with a high of 64 with winds to 20 miles an hour. Rain is likely Thursday morning. We'll have mostly howdy skies at a high 59. I'm Rod Tanner, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center with the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California. KCAA 102.3 FM Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and the Legacy 1050 AM Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
If you're looking for a full or part-time sales position and you have radio, TV, or print media experience, KCAA has a great opportunity waiting for you that pays the highest commissions in the market. KCAA is the only station in the IE that broadcasts on 3 frequencies, so advertisers receive 3 ads for 1 low rate. This makes KCAA a must-buy for every local business. If you're interested in a sales position with us, email ceo@kcaaradio.com.
Hi, it's Jan Elliott in Snow Country. This brought to you by Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring business owners and HR professionals. Post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. Snow levels will start to drop this afternoon, and that snow will start to add up, too. We'll have heavy waves of snow moving through the region, measuring snow in feet in the mountains, and that'll continue through the week. So in the meantime, mountain highs got some wet granular surfaces, 8 runs, close to 20 for Snow Summit and Bear Mountain on 15 trails. June Mountain, 30 runs open. Bear Valley over 40 with a slopestyle event coming up over the weekend and live music. At Sugar Bowl, spring conditions, 99 trails, 45 on tap for Arizona Snow Bowl. Heading into the Colorado Rockies, Crested Butte over 100 trails, pack powder, machine groom conditions. More details are always at snowcountry.com. I'm Jan Elliott on the trifecta of talk, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
We can't be everything to everyone, or can we? The station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So want to let everybody know all the ways you can listen to you could follow us. First of all, hang on, I love this song. Let's go.
What if I say I'm not just another one of your plays?
just had to listen. All right, so you can follow me on Facebook. I'm Aaron Hunt Brinker on Facebook. He's Tobin Brinker on Facebook. I'm at Aaron Songbird on Twitter and Aaron Brinker on Instagram. And I'm not even going to give my LinkedIn because I've been really bad about, following up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
There's only so much time to focus on so many social media platforms. I'm just saying.
I've just been sort of starting to dabble with this thing called Instagram.
Oh, Instagram's fun. Now, you love pictures.
I do.
You love taking pictures. Instagram is all about the pictures.
Yes.
So I'm surprised you haven't been on it already.
I got on because our daughter was posting stuff there, and I kind of wanted to keep up with what she's doing, But I never really played around with it much. But now because of the Facebook, they're integrated. And so my Instagram stuff keeps popping up on Facebook, and then I go look at the Instagram stuff, and it drops me over there. And I'm getting more used to that platform. I just haven't really had a chance to play with it.
It's fun.
And you
it's fun. I'm sure you're going to love it.
And you got to build your base. I don't have a lot of Instagram friends yet. I'm still growing that network,
So who are you on Instagram? Are you Tobin Brinker
I'm Tobin
on
Brinker.
Instagram?
I'm just me, Aaron.
Yes, I'm Aaron Brinker on Instagram.
Yes.
But I don't, it doesn't occur to me to take pictures necessarily of what I'm doing. And you love pictures. Like if you go through your Facebook, all these pictures of your students and your friends and your, whatever.
Speaking of pictures, we've got a little mini disaster going on at my school.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently the computer with all the pictures for the yearbook got messed. And so we're all trying to get pictures to our yearbook advisor. So yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, right?
That deadline's got to be like.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's all going to work out. But yesterday I was like trying to get a bunch of pictures off of my phone so that I could then send them off to her so she would have pictures. And so that's part of what I'm going to do today is make sure I'm getting pictures to our yearbook advisor because I take lots of pictures for our school events and things.
So I'm going to ask the $64,000 question.
Yeah.
Those pictures weren't backed up anywhere?
You know what? I don't know all the specifics. I just know that there's some issue with the pictures and they need pictures. So I'm just going to give them everything I've got.
Heartbreaking.
And yeah. And Adiola, who is just a fabulous person who's been doing our yearbook for years, I just want to make sure that I'm able to help her and those kids. They've all worked so hard, but they're going back around and retaking pictures of people and trying to get stuff, and it's tough. It's tough, but I take my camera with me everywhere. It's my phone, how we all are.
Yes.
But I'm that teacher that at every assembly, at every little thing, I'm always pulling it out and snapping a few pictures, and so. I think I've got a lot to give her. I just have to take a time and kind of go through and make sure I get her the good ones.
So we had a picture-worthy event happen yesterday in our family.
We did.
Our daughter got engaged. So we're going to have 2 weddings this year in our family.
It's very exciting, and I keep looking at you and looking at me and thinking, are we old enough? I don't know if we're old enough.
Well, we married young.
We did.
We had just graduated from college, and our kids are then marrying young. And, so we're going to have a truly empty nest. Truly empty nest.
And we love them all. It's this cool thing where we're getting like this growing family all of a sudden, and
it's pretty awesome.
So our son's getting married in May to a wonderful young lady, and we're looking forward to that big wedding. And then our daughter thinks they're going to get married in August. I'm a little skeptical they can put it together that quick.
But she doesn't want the big formal to do.
She doesn't. She
wants to get married in a church.
Yeah.
But then have a party on the beach with taco trucks. I mean, seriously, it's
pretty simple.
Yeah, wear shorts because that's what they want.
And it's good because I just bought some shorts. That is, and flip flops. I would love to do a flip flop wedding.
Flip flop wedding.
Exactly.
And a Tony Bahama shirt.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
So, Arnold Schwarzenegger seems to have lost his marbles. He says he's going to go after big oil for, are you ready for this? First-degree murder.
Yes.
That's with intent, folks.
You have to say it in the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, though.
I don't know that I can.
I don't know either. We should have Brian Hayne here. He does Ani. They're knowingly killing people all over the world. I can't do it.
So, like big tobacco, big oil has been complicit in, quote, knowingly killing people all over the world, unquote, due to the global warming caused by fossil fuels, and they're about to be held accountable for it per one of California's most high-profile ex-governors. Arnold Schwarzenegger recorded a live podcast for Politico on Sunday at South by Southwest, and he railed against the oil industry, warning that he and the law firm he's talking to plan to take some of the biggest oil companies to court. It's absolutely irresponsible to know your product is killing people and not have a warning label on it, he said. So, okay. Really? Because people are going to, wow, there's a warning label. I'm not going to put it in my car now.
Yes. I will stop driving now.
And it's not only about driving. I will stop using plastics.
Yes.
So this is my question. And this article is in Newser, and you can continue to read if you want to look that up. I just want to talk about it. The thing that strikes me is that there are single-use plastics that we don't need to be using. Like, we probably don't need to have you don't need to have water bottles necessarily. Yeah, exactly. So we could learn to live without those.
Let me down this water bottle real quick here.
Yes. So that's probably, single-use plastic bags and, plastic plastic straws and, all this stuff that we use that we just kind of toss away. But maybe we don't need to use those. Those are all petroleum products, folks. That's the basis.
Yeah.
But single-use plastics in hospitals have been revolutionary.
Yes, they have.
So do you want your IV to be sterilized and used again, or do you want it to be single use? Do you want your any injectable, anything that's used that touches bodily fluids? Do you want it to be single use, or do you want it to be washed and used again? I know what I want. I want that. I want to see them take it out of the package in front of me.
Yes, brand new.
So
I laugh when I see this stuff from the governor, because he is, I think, doing the same thing that Al Gore did, which is he's using this global warming scare to keep himself in the media and relevant, and also to, enrich himself.
Yeah, well, I think, yes. Well, Al Gore is now worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
There's a whole industry around these guys out here bashing these industries, and they get paid big bucks on the speaking circuit. They get all kinds of
they write books,
deals out of this, and and this is a way that he can seem relevant and cast himself as a hero fighting the evil corporations.
And here's the thing: nobody would have occurred to no one to buy a Hummer had it not been for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right? Hummer was a military vehicle until he started driving one, and then everybody thought it was cool, like this, archetypical masculine, Tim the Toolman Taylor, gonna drive this truck. And so, come on, and you don't tell me he doesn't fly? Is he gonna ride a horse now?
Yes.
I mean, come on.
So Schwarzenegger is just laughable, and he's got this Austrian World Summit that's coming up in May. And, he talks about we're action heroes. We'll meet to discuss environmental issues. He really is, I think, wanting to portray himself as this real-life hero, right, in this story, and the evil corporations. And, and he's just this goofy guy now, I don't think he realizes just how discredited he's become. And at the end of this article, they even talk about him talking about the Me Too movement. Now, you got to remember, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had numerous complaints about him doing inappropriate behavior when he was an actor. And then it turns out right at the end of his time as governor, we find out that he was sleeping with the nanny and had an illegitimate child. And so this guy is a real cad when it comes to how he treats women and how he behaves. And he says about the Me Too movement, I think it's fantastic. He said of the push towards accountability, you got to look at it and say, I made mistakes and I have to apologize.
Oh, please.
Except I don't know that he ever apologized. He just basically said, I'm Ani. That's me.
Yeah.
And smiled and moved forward, It's just ridiculous.
Yes.
He's ridiculous.
I agree. I agree. So with that, it's time for a break. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We'll be right back.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Karen Hopkin. Nature may be red in tooth and claw, but one plucky caterpillar dresses in orange and black to avoid becoming somebody's lunch. What's really surprising, though, is that this distinctive set of stripes can serve as both a warning or as camouflage, depending on how far away it is from the viewer. Animals can deploy color as a defense mechanism in a couple of ways. Some shades and patterns help potential prey blend into the background, whereas bold markings often serve as a signal that an animal is unpalatable. For example, chock full of toxins.
So these two strategies have often been considered in isolation and often seen as mutually exclusive and alternative mechanisms. But under natural conditions, you find this distinction is less clear-cut.
Jim Barnett of the University of Bristol, who led the study to explore whether the same coloration might do double duty, allowing an animal to be obvious under some conditions, but unseen in others. They focused their attention on the caterpillars of cinnabar moths. These larvae sport bright orange and black stripes. Their vivid appearance was believed to remind the birds who may have eaten others of their kind that they are none too tasty, thanks to their diet of alkaloid-rich ragwort plants. The researchers snapped photos of the caterpillars in suburban green spaces around Bristol, and they used a visual modeling program to give them a bird's-eye view of what the caterpillars look like, either close up or from farther away.
And what we found is that although at close range the caterpillar's stripes are highly conspicuous, these bright colours distinguish it quite easily from its ragwort background. But when viewed from distance, they blend together to form a colour which is actually quite difficult to discern from the background colour. So what we think is going on is that the caterpillar is getting the best of both worlds.
Close up, the stripes say, keep your distance. But from a distance, they allow the caterpillars to hide in plain sight. The results can be seen in the journal Royal Society Open Science. The finding is a reminder, don't forget to step back and see things from a different perspective. Thanks for listening. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Karen Hopkin.
What if I told you you'd never have to make a house payment again? What if you could pay off much-needed home repairs and even create an income stream based on the value of your home? If you're 62 years old or older, you could be eligible for a reverse mortgage. Call Tim Harrison and find out if a reverse mortgage is right for you. Call Tim at 800-566-2475. That's 800-566-2475. Tim Harrison, branch manager, NMLS number 170960. Broadview Mortgage Corporation is licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. License number 170952. Registered with the Nationwide Mortgage Licensing System and registry number 813B544. Broadview Mortgage, equal housing lender. Remember, if you never want to make a house payment again, except for property taxes, maintenance, and insurance, that's 800-566-2475. That's 800-566-2475.
Mark Christopher Auto Center says that you can keep your tax return. You've earned it. During the No Brainer sales event, Zero Down can deliver your new car. You can choose from over 1,400 vehicles with prices so low, it's a no-brainer. For example, you can save over $7,500 on a new Chevy Cruze LS automatic and pick your own color. Or save over $9,000 on a new Chevy Malibu LS. Again, you pick your color. Save on Buicks and GMCs as well. In fact, you could save over $15,000 during the No Brainer sales event. You'll find Mark Christopher Auto Center right on the 10 freeway in Ontario, or you can go online to markchristopher.com. Mark Christopher says thank you for making them California's #1 volume GM dealer, family owned and doing things right since 1975. Remember, you can keep your tax return during the No Brainer sales event at Mark Christopher Auto Center, Vineyard exit of Interstate 10 in Ontario.
So, you didn't like that opinion. Okay, give us another 15 minutes. This is the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Marion Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. That last piece is my favorite Flyleaf song. It's called Red Sam. And, of course, Flyleaf is a Christian band. And, yeah, I just really love the message of that song. So check it out on Spotify.
Wow. Wow, you're spinning the records this morning.
I am having some fun. So there's some drama going on in Riverside.
There really is. We talked about this story a week or so ago when it first broke. Riverside Mayor Rusty Bailey is now going to sue the city of Riverside. He says this is a nearly unprecedented step, and he says it's needed to prevent a calamity. He vetoed the city manager, John Russo's, new employment contract. And basically the council is ignoring his veto and saying that he doesn't have the power to do that. The city attorney says he doesn't have the power to do it. And so they've started to begin to follow the terms of that new contract. Now, Mayor Bailey contends that this contract is poorly timed and too expensive. He says, can't be giving these long extensions and raises to the top manager at the same time that we're cutting departments and cutting services because of budget issues. And,
he's right.
He's right. And so, according to the mayor, he says, I obviously don't agree with the contract for the reasons I've stated, but this is about protecting the fundamental principles of our government, the checks and balances. And so he filed petition in Riverside Superior Court on Friday, March 9th, seeking a temporary restraining order that would stop the city from following the provisions of the new employment contract unless the city council votes to override Bailey's veto. The petition also asked the judge to find that the city attorney, Gary Geis, and his staff, as well as anyone they might hire, are disqualified from offering counsel regarding the contract or veto because of what Bailey contends is a conflict of interest. And I believe he's right. Here's why. The city attorney also is a contracted employee. And, if the argument is that the mayor can't veto contracts, the city attorney benefits from that too, because now the mayor can't veto a contract that he would be offered, right?
Right.
And so he's saying, look, there's too much at stake here for you, so you've obviously got a bias in saying that I can't do this. And so he wants them taken off of this, and I think that's definitely right. And the city council could very easily solve this problem. They could just have a meeting and vote to override the veto.
I don't think they have the votes, or they would have done that.
They do. They do have the votes.
Then why haven't they done it?
The original contract approval passed with a 5-2 vote. It only takes 5 votes to overturn a veto. But the reason that they won't do that is because that would recognize that the mayor actually had the authority to veto this contract. And so what this is about is it's about an argument about how do you interpret the city's charter, okay? And so the city's charter has 2 different provisions that they're looking at. And one of the provisions talks about the mayor's veto power, and it basically says that the mayor can veto everything except, and then they list a couple of things. And one of the things is it doesn't say anything about not being able to veto contracts like this, right? And so the mayor says, well, I have the power then because it's not on the list of excluded things that I'm not allowed to veto. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And the council members say no, that another part of the charter says that the city manager serves at the pleasure of the council, and so that only the council can make those sorts of decisions. And so this is the thing. And so the right way to solve this is to go to court and have a judge decide who actually has the authority in this decision. And there's an interesting time frame here as well, because the charter says the council must vote on whether to override a veto between 30 and 60 days after the veto is made.
So the court has to move quickly.
The court has to move quickly. And so if they go beyond the 60-day limit and they didn't vote to do the override, then the veto would have to stand. And so there's a lot of interesting things at play here. And I also think this is smart politics for the mayor. He's putting a marker down on fiscal restraint, and so even if he loses this, I think that he gives him a sharp contrast with those 5 council members who said we're going to spend this regardless, even though we're in a budget cutting cycle right now and we're, reducing services and so on.
So the new contract extends Russo's term for 7 years with 3% raises each year, and also includes a 15-year, $675,000 home loan. But city administrators maintain that it doesn't cost taxpayers any more than Russo's previous $323,946 per year dollar per year deal, which also includes 3% raises, but ended in 2020, in part because it limits how much vacation and administrative leave Russo can cash out.
Yeah, I don't buy it. He didn't just do this just to get an extension. He's getting this because he wants more money, and that's the deal.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I also have an issue with these cities offering these low interest loans, often zero interest loans to their top manager. This guy's making $300,000 a year. He can go to a regular bank and get his own loan at a good rate. He is not some poor guy who needs help getting a home loan.
It's true.
He's not, and so I find that kind of benefit excessive and offensive, right? And so that's just, that alone makes me want to support Mayor Rusty Bailey. Now, the mayor, in order to do this lawsuit, has to pay for it out of his own pocket, okay? And so I don't know if I can find a site that we can make a little donation. I'd love to help defer his costs. He said he's going to go out and get donations from folks to help pay for the lawsuit. But I think he deserves some help. I mean, I think this is something that needs to happen. And it's interesting hearing some of the quotes from some of the council members. Some of them are mad at the mayor for doing this. They think it's ridiculous, and I can understand that it's going to cause maybe a little friction with the working relationship with the city manager. But Mike Gardner, one of the other council members, says he thinks Bailey's doing the right thing. That he should go to court, and that this is not something that should be argued about on social media. It needs to be handled in the proper legal forum, and he's doing the right thing.
I honestly think that Rusty Bailey is a man of significant courage. I mean, he is spending his own dollars, and yes, he's going to fundraise, but he's committed without having that money yet.
Yeah, I know.
And so, he's a man of real courage. I think he's doing the right thing. So we'll continue to follow this story. We are completely out of time.
No!
We are. We are completely out of time.
But it's Tuesday, which means we'll be back
tomorrow. All right. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. We'll see you tomorrow.